So UFC Nashville just wrapped up a couple days ago, and the main event and co-main event have been very controversial, and I just wanted to give, my take on it. And starting off with the co-main event, which was Wonderboy Thompson versus Gabriel Bonfim. I don't think that this fight was a robbery, and I know a lot of people are going to side with Stephen Thompson, give their pity to the geezer, but I've actually rewatched the third round, which was the swing round in a lot of people, and I've ended up giving it to Gabriel Bonfim. I think it's a close round, and if you're a damage-based scoring connoisseur, you have the argument of giving it to Wonderboy. He definitely landed the harder shots. He landed a nice body kick and a nice head kick, but I really do think that there was not enough damage done in this round to warrant it over. So I have to side with Bonfim, and a lot of people would laugh at that because, he didn't really land much other than some knees to the thigh. But honestly, if it was the other way around, people would not be glazing Gabriel Bonfim if he, got smudged. And really, the schooling on the feet was not that bad in the third round. So I encourage a lot of people to rewatch this third round. Even the second round was close, and it sucks because I like Wonderboy Thompson, but you gotta be unbiased, in times like this. So you have to be unbiased. Give it to Gabriel, the new prospect Bonfim. Stephen Thompson, I'm glad he didn't retire. He actually looked pretty solid in the second and third, especially his kicks looked sharp. Yeah, he looked like he still had some power, and his chin isn't completely gone. I'd like to see him, fight somebody that's going to keep it standing and that doesn't have a ton of power. I could see them doing him versus Luque. Could be a nice matchup. Maybe just a Legends fight. But yeah, moving on to the main event, I picked Derek Lewis. Didn't have the cameras on for that one, but I did pick Derek Lewis. I think a lot of people that rewatched Taliesin Teixeira's Contender Series fight ended up picking Derek Lewis. It was a great underdog pick. It was, I think, about a plus 200, maybe plus 250. And he's the better fighter, Taliesin, he loses his chin up. I'm happy about this. I honestly do not mind the stoppage either. I think it was fine. Jason Herzog, he's had bad stoppages before, very early stoppages. I remember the Cannonier versus Mava stoppage. But this one, he really got put in a tough position because Taliesin grabbed the fence to get up. And there was really nothing that Herzog could have done to make that fight fair for either fighter, because if you stop the fight right there, it was an early stoppage. Taliesin wasn't out. But if you give him a warning, take a point, now Taliesin's recovered. There's no, and we all know that fight was not going to the scorecards. There's no punishment you can give that makes that fair. And I don't think Taliesin would have got up without the cage grab. It was a bad position. I'm happy Derek Lewis got the win. Yeah, I'm excited for him. I'd like to see him, take on a Blades or a Volkov, run it back. There's not many fresh matchups for D-Lew. So, yeah, and honestly, I'd pick him to beat Blades after how Blades looked. So, potential Derek Lewis title run emerging. And some other points of the card. Steve Garcia had a nice performance against Calvin Kattar. Looked very strong, looked pretty sharp, but in the same way, Calvin Kattar just might be gone. He's gone. He's not a ranked fighter. He loses to everybody in the top 15, and Steve Garcia is a solid fighter. I think Steve Garcia could be a problem for a couple guys in this division. Steve Garcia versus Josh Emmett could be a good fight. Definitely, there's going to be some moments in that one, but yeah, that's That's the feature fight. And really the only other moment I want to talk about is the Junior Taffa, who needs to be cut. He's a terrorist of the sport, as well as his brother. Justin Taffa needs to be cut because of Junior Taffa's performance tonight. The Taffa brothers need to be eradicated. It was terrible to watch. He doesn't care about being taken down. He's happy to be subdued. And he honestly is not that strong of a striker. He's got good power, but, the Taffa brothers made Taliesin Teixeira look like he was the next big thing at heavyweight. So yeah, Justin Taffa, Junior Taffa, maybe they can fight on the early appearance of an Apex card. Dontel Mays, some real barn burners, but there's not much for these guys left in the sport. So yeah, that was UFC Nashville. So yeah.